Welcome to Nonstop. It's the official and season show of Kirk, Herbstreit, and Joey Galloway. Your first stop for all things football, college and pro, every Monday.
All right, here we go, Joey. Monday, December 15th. The chaos and the debate of the playoff is behind everybody. Maybe it's still lingering for some people.
It's still lingering for some people.
It is still lingering, but we have our teams that are set. We'll talk about that throughout this hour. Joey and I want to talk also about the Heisman Trophy ceremony. Congrats to Fernando Mendoza for winning the Heisman Trophy. Thought his speech was outstanding. His story is incredible. So congrats to him, and congrats to Indiana University, their first Heisman Trophy winner in the history of their school. I mean, what Curt Cignetti is doing for that school, it's obviously unprecedented. They've never seen any kind of success like this. They're handling it great. They were on 60 Minutes last night. I mean, what a change in brand from our era, me and you, is Bobby Knight, college basketball, right?
Do you miss anything? Do you miss anything? You're watching 60.
I don't. I wish I had other hobbies. I got a problem. I just can't. I can't.
This was a weird weekend. The first weekend being home and not.
Yeah.
It
Since
was
August.
so weird. Yet Saturday was like, what?
Totally.
What are you supposed to do? It was so weird.
I completely agree, because Friday I was here. I called a game Thursday night down in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up being a great game. Atlanta came back to win it.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And then Friday, I'm like, man, I'm usually I'm on a college campus with production meetings and taping Sports Center and getting ready for, a big Saturday. And I'm with you. I was out of schedule. It felt like I was out of a rhythm.
Yeah, I usually don't work out on the weekends, but I was sitting around. I'm like,
well, guess I got to get some squats in.
Guess I'll go do some cardio or something. I mean, it was the weirdest thing. I did cardio on Saturday and Sunday. Like, I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to go to I don't know if you've ever heard of him or seen him, but Nate Bargatze invited me to go to one of his. He's a stand-up comedian.
I've heard of him.
You would die. Because most of his stuff is family and it's very clean.
Very clean.
His wife and his kids, just kind of makes fun of himself. You'd have tears running down. I couldn't breathe.
Was that in Nashville?
It was he sold out 3 straight days. Bridgestone Arena. Like, you're talking like 18 to 20,000 people. Nope. And he does that every show he does. Insane. Yeah. Next time he's around, you're gonna go.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
See, that's the kind of thing you could get me in on. You try to get me in on things that
the
Kentucky Derby.
Not
comedy show.
That.
I'm in. We're home early. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Home early. Shut it down. What did you think of was the Heisman wasn't really, I guess, a surprise? I mean, didn't you think Mendoza was going to win it? Was it really about by how much and who was going to finish
right?
second?
It was about by how much, and I was very interested to see where Jeremiah Love finished, just because I thought that, man, I just think as the season went on, man, he was absolutely amazing. But yeah, Mendoza and the season he had, and you talked about it. It's a bunch of firsts for Indiana and what they're doing right now, and it's just an amazing story. So it's not a surprise at all that he was going to win it. Interestingly enough, in this season, the stats weren't crazy. It wasn't like the stats were just off the charts for any of the guys. It was just one of those years. It was just the stats weren't crazy. It was by moments. And Mendoza had moments in this season. The Penn State game, winning the Big Ten championship against Ohio State. He's had moments in the season. It's like, man, they're still alive. He is the heartbeat of that team. And so congratulations to him. Great story. And it's going to be fun to watch what happens in the playoff with him. But man, it's a bunch of firsts there. Cignetti's done an amazing job.
Yeah. And what's cool about this is I don't feel like Indiana is one of these stories where it's a flash. They had a couple, 2 or 3 really good players on each side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
They graduated off to the NFL, and then they're back to what they used to be. I'm sure you don't feel that either. I mean, they feel like they're going to lose Mendoza. They'll probably hit the portal. I don't know the details of their depth chart yet. I'm calling their game in the Rose Bowl. They'll play the winner of the Alabama-Oklahoma game. Looking forward to calling that. But I feel like they're going to be around as long as he's the head coach. He's got his system, his formula. It's worked everywhere he's been a head coach. He brought that blueprint to Bloomington. A lot of us were like, man, can he do this in Bloomington? And he has. And so all you can do is tip your cap, man, and just say congrats. And I'd love to see it keep rolling. I love when the Big Ten has depth. Let's see the Big Ten get Wisconsin back, and Michigan State now is Pat Fitzgerald. And, you get those teams that are sometimes in the middle, and you get them to climb the ladder, which I think Indiana's going to do. So
I think two of the Big Ten teams made terrific coaching hires. I think Penn State made a terrific coaching hire just when everybody was starting to laugh, like, oh my gosh, they screwed this thing up. They blew it. It's terrible. Then they get Matt Kemp. I mean, that is a great hire for them.
Yeah.
Pat Fitzgerald is a great hire for Michigan State. I think that the Big Ten, and you talk about the depth, you talk about, in early in the year, we had a conversation whether the Big Ten was closer to the SEC or closer to the ACC. And it's the depth that you need in your conference to start being on the same conversation, same level as the SEC. And when you make those kind of coaching hires, that is putting your team in a position to add that depth. And it is crazy to think that Indiana could be better in this season than they were last season. Because last season was like, oh my gosh, look at what Cignetti's done. It was sort of like a story that was it needed a backup. It needed another year. It needs another year after this to really be in that conversation of they are one of the teams in the Big Ten that is going to add that depth and add the strength of the conference, because you already have Oregon's going to be good year in and year out. Coach Lanning does a great job out there. And I think Penn State will be back. The Michigan situation is now interesting. Who will they get? Where does that program go? Because that is one of the blue bloods of the conference. And when we talk ACC and all of a sudden Clemson goes down, all of a sudden Florida State goes down, it hurts the conference. Michigan being in the situation they're in right now. And let me just say this, but we don't have to get into Michigan, but I do want to say this because I've had a lot of fans, Ohio State fans, who've said, hey, let me be clear. I don't wish that on anybody. I don't care who you coach for. I don't care what team it is. I don't wish that situation on anybody. So for the fans out there that come and like, hey, look at what's happening in Michigan, I'm not in. I'm not in for that. There are families, there are people that are dealing with these situations. I don't wish that on anybody anywhere.
Horrific. Horrific situation. I know Sherome Moore, my son, of course, plays there.
Mm-hmm.
Chase is there, and I know the individual as well that is being talked about. Both people, the times I've been around them, they great people, made mistakes, and now you have a program that's broken for now, and there's an investigation going on within the entire athletic department. I can just tell you as more as a parent how impressed I've been with Biff Poggi, who has been taken over to be the interim head coach. Man, it's almost like he's like a father, not a coach, but he's a coach, but he's like a father.
Which is what you need in this situation.
Yeah. I mean, I've been on a couple of Zooms and I just listen, and I'm just so impressed with what he's been handed and the way he's talking. And it just feels like, okay, as long as he's there, everything is going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And this is a team that has assistant coaches and coordinators that are trying to get ready to play a game. They had nothing to do with any of this. They're trying to get ready to go play Texas. And they really don't know who the head coach is going to be. Is it going to be Biff Poggi? Are they going to go find another guy? Are they going to be still coaching at Michigan? All these unknowns. And yet, man, they're really doing, for an unprecedented, uncharted situation, they're really doing as good of a job as they can at keeping this thing together. And I would say the seniors and the leadership on that team is doing a really good job of trying to just keep it together and get ready to go down there. And Joey, even though this is something that we've never seen, when teams, and I think sometimes people that don't have maybe never been part of a team, you don't really realize this, but when you go through something like this, it is either going to tear you apart and you're going to be fragmented, or it's going to pull you together in a way that is like, wow. It's like it's an us against everybody else kind of thing. Everybody on social media, which is weird to me that people's lives are impacted forever by this. And
doesn't matter.
It
Does
doesn't.
not matter. The
People are
amount
having
of people
fun
that
with
have
it and
said
laughing.
something to me, like,
yeah.
and I am like, no, like I am not
I just don't
in
get. I just
that.
don't think. I
Yeah,
don't know how that people's brains work that way. But so difficult situation. The folks that are there are trying to do the best that they can, but I sense that this is a team that's really gotten closer. They're obviously going to have a big game coming up on the 31st down in Orlando against Texas, but who they hire is going, like, where they're going to go with an investigation going on. It sounds like, with the portal opening up, when is it? Early January, like January 2nd or 3rd, whenever it is. More than likely, you're going to want to have a coach, I would think, in position by then, before to just be ready to brace for that moment. People leaving, people
that's what it's
coming
all
in.
about now. You got
that's
you
think about
ready
that
for the portal.
That
is by far the most important day in college football. Is when is the portal open?
Yeah, and also you made really good points about Michigan State, Pat Fitzgerald. We talked about when they first were rumored to be hiring him. Michigan State's brand has been gone. I mean, what Mark D'Antonio did there, that was a long time ago, where he had them up there with the top 5, top 10 teams in the country year in and year out. He had about a 4 or 5 year run. And since then, they've been kind of searching. And I think they landed on a superstar. Those of us who are from the Big Ten region know what Pat Fitzgerald can do. It's weird to see him in green because you're so used to seeing him in purple, for all those years.
Playing and coaching for all those years. And now, but to me, he is the kind of coach, he's perfect for the Big Ten. He's a hard-nosed coach that can get a team ready to play and win games that they're not supposed to win. That's who used to do it Northwestern. Is they would win games. A lot of coaches win the games they're supposed to win. He would find ways to win games that they were not supposed to win. And that's what made him so good. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does at Michigan State.
Yeah. And there's that green. And Matt Campbell, I mean, I never thought he'd leave Iowa State. When he first got Iowa State going, I thought, man, good luck trying to keep a hold of this guy. And then they locked his butt down. Like, he wasn't going anywhere. And man, the Penn State coaching search, the jokes about everyone else is making all these hires in the
Everyone
SEC
got their guy.
Penn State, they didn't get any, and then they end up
they didn't get anybody at all.
Maybe making the best hire of all.
They didn't get anybody at all. And then all of a sudden, they go get the one guy that his name for years, any job that came up, his name was involved. And I, like you, had thought it's over. He's staying at Iowa State because now he's been there so long, and then Penn State. Wow. Nice move.
Yeah, that's a grand slam. And besides the coaching carousel, and that's seems like, depending on what happens at Michigan, that's still kind of evolving as we speak. The bowl games themselves, you and I like all the bowl games. I know we're from a different generation, still like to see the matchup, especially if they're brands that you're familiar with. It's fun to see that. But you and I this weekend, College Game Day, will be Friday night. You're going to be down in Norman as well. Oklahoma and Alabama in a rematch, a game that the first time around, it was really more about, we've talked again about +3 in the turnover margin for OU, the pick 6 that really, this play right here really kind of set the tone for the entire game, because they weren't getting a whole lot from their offense, but they went on to the road into Tuscaloosa. This time they'll be at home. The Sooners will be. And let's talk about this game. 2 offenses. We kind of said they're leaking oil without run games.
Yep.
What do you expect from this game? Who are you giving an edge to in this first matchup on Friday night?
Are you surprised that Alabama's favored? Now it's like 1 or 1.5. Are you surprised that they're
Not
favored in this
not
game at
necessarily,
Oklahoma?
because I think if you go back and watch the game that we're seeing highlights
Yeah.
of, I think other than the turnovers, they played well enough to win the game, and again, OU. When you think of OU this year, what do we think of? Defense,
Uh-huh.
turnovers, great kicker. Like kind of like Jim Tressel, old school. We're going to win that way and not lose it on offense.
Yep.
And if you're Alabama, you've got to be able to go in there and say, we've got to be able to match their physicality. We got to avoid 3rd and long. We got to stay on schedule. We cannot turn the ball over. Let's play smart. And let's make their offense drive the ball on us. Let's not give them a short field. And if we do that, we feel like we're a more complete team, that we should be able to go on the road and win this game. So I'm not shocked that they're slight favorites. It's almost really a pick-em type game. But who do you give an edge to either team just because of the way neither team can run the football?
Well, it's interesting what Oklahoma has become in this season. Early on, is John Mateer show. It was offense, John Mateer just doing everything, slinging the ball around. And then it turned into, after the thumb injury, it turned into this defensive football team, which is amazing to see a team sort of switch from one thing early and then win games, big games, later in the season, going on the road to Alabama, and the way they won. I would imagine that the odds makers are saying, hey, listen, they're not going to fumble a punt. Ryan Williams isn't going to fumble a punt return. They're going to throw a pick six.
Yeah.
They're not going to block a field goal. They're not going to have 3 turnovers. Then they got the one, and Mateer ran the touchdown in after that. I had imagined the odds makers are saying that's not how this game is going to go. It's interesting, though, watching Alabama's offense and Ty Simpson against Georgia. Now, I don't know if Oklahoma can do it to Ty Simpson what Georgia did with the pressures and just making him look like he just couldn't figure out where to go with the football in these pressure moments, in these pressure situations. I am sure Oklahoma has watched that. I'm sure Brent Venables has watched that film along with what they did the first time around and said, here's how we can make him uncomfortable. I think, again, it's going to come down to the turnover battle, obviously. But I was surprised to see Alabama favored in this game because it's at Oklahoma. If the game was at Alabama, then I could understand that. But I am surprised to see Oklahoma, the underdog in this game.
I do think that Oklahoma, just when you say, well, their offense isn't consistent, that what they're capable of doing. Like I feel like the Blaylock is a back that is capable.
Yeah.
We know that the quarterback Mateer at any moment, when he gets into that zone, we know that he's very dangerous as a thrower and especially as a runner when he creates. But I think that they are a classic example of when their season started, Brent Venables was on the hot seat. He made some changes to the coaching staff, brought Mateer and Ben Arbuckle as an offensive coordinator in, brought some portal guys in. And then they started with Michigan early, and everybody thought, okay, we're going to learn about both teams. Yep. And they won that game pretty decisively. And that's when Mateer kind of started to make a name for himself. But you go down the list and you start thinking about who they played. At the time, Auburn wasn't a great team. They weren't a terrible team when they played them, but they beat them. They lost to Texas, and everybody thought, okay, they're not a team to take serious. They go to South Carolina and win. They lose to Ole Miss in a one possession game. And from that point on, they kind of found their way. Mateer got healthy.
The second half of Tennessee.
Yeah. I was going to say that's exactly right.
The first half of Tennessee,
first half, it was just kind of the same old with Mateer. Maybe he's never going to be the same with the thumb.
Yep.
And then he started to run around making plays. And from that point on, they beat Alabama the next week. They beat a good Missouri team, and then they beat LSU. And it's never pretty. It's never like they blow people out. It's always it's going to be a one possession game. But I think through all that, I think they approach the playoff as a team that, hey man, we've been tested and we've come through it. We can beat Alabama. We can do this. So that's kind of where I feel like they are. And I feel like Alabama, they've been through a lot of stuff themselves, and I think,
Yeah.
but they were not healthy at the end of the year. I called their last two games in the Iron Bowl and then in the SEC championship game. Jam Miller obviously out, but I'm talking about offensive line, guys on the defensive line playing through injuries, nagging injuries. They were just kind of like a lot of teams gutting it out late in the year. But I think this layoff, I don't know what it is, about 2 weeks probably, has allowed all these teams, but especially a team like Alabama who's needed it, to be able to kind of get back to being, okay, let's get back to being the team we were when we went to Athens and had one of the best wins in college football. Let's get back to being that kind of team, and let's not just beat Oklahoma. Let's make a run at this thing. Let's put it together. And like we saw with Ohio State last year, they lost to Michigan. Michigan planted their flag.
Yeah.
Season's over. They're done. They're terrible. Fire Ryan Day. To all of a sudden got healthy, got upset. Us against the world. Boom. Beat Tennessee and never looked back and won 4 straight. Is Alabama maybe that team? No idea, but they could be. You never know.
Yeah, it always makes you nervous when it makes me nervous when I see a quarterback get pressured and sort of clam up a little bit. And that's what it looked like Ty Simpson did in that game against Georgia. Now, believe me, I've said before that Georgia looks as scary as any team in the country right now. If there's a team that I'm saying to myself, I don't know I want a piece of them, it would be Georgia right now. And so
line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Line of scrimmage.
It just took you back a few years back to when the SEC would just roll in 8 different defensive linemen, the first rounders from this year, and then the next wave was the first rounders from the next season. That's what they look like. Ty Simpson can get back on track. I don't know. Alabama's not run the ball well all season long. It's just not. They just haven't done it. They need to. I don't know if they can get back on track with their run game in this game, but Ty Simpson has to get back on track. The
100%.
offense needs to get back on track.
Yeah, 100%. And I do think Ty Simpson went from, remember early in the year it was Cade Klubnik, and it was Garrett Nussmeier, and it was Drew Aller, and it was Arch Manning, and it was Lenore Sellers, and it was name all these guys, and then all those guys, all of them kind of collectively just didn't quite live up to it. So then the media was trying to find who's the QB1, and then bring in Alabama goes to Athens.
Yep.
And he hits his first 8 third downs. He looked like he was almost bored. He's just back there. Every throw was perfect. Bang. I mean, could not have played any better. And then he went from just, I don't know, is he the guy to, he's not only is he the guy, he's maybe the QB1 in the whole country. And then it was him and Mendoza. And then Mendoza kept climbing. And then Ty Simpson and that Bama offense, whether it was injuries, whether it was, just trying to kind of find an identity. And I agree with you. So we know what they're capable of doing. I'm sure in their minds, they're thinking, we know we can be that team that went to Athens.
Yep.
Let's crank it up and we'll see. That game is obviously on Friday night. By the way, you touched on Georgia. If you had to say right now, of all the teams, throw in Indiana, throw in Ohio State, throw in Texas Tech, throw in Ole Miss, throw in Miami, A&M. People almost forget about Texas A&M. It's like, I don't know how they went from being number 3, large portion of the year to losing to Texas late. It's like out of sight, out of mind.
Yep,
They've been
absolutely
forgotten. Who would you say right now? You mentioned you wouldn't want to play Georgia. Who do you feel like is the team that could maybe who's best positioned to make a run here in your mind?
I just think Georgia, with the way they're playing, defensively, Gunnar Stockton is a playmaker. He's going to find ways to make you plays late in games.
Yeah.
I think if I'm looking at the last month of the season, Georgia has looked like the best football team to me. They would be the team I would not want to see, especially after watching the SEC championship game. They're a team that I would not want a piece of. Ohio State it's interesting to me. They go through a season where they're not tested at all. They weren't put in any adverse situations where they had to make plays late to win a football game. The one time they were, it didn't turn out so well. But we've also seen this Ohio State team, you just mentioned it, lose their last game of the season, rally, come together,
Recalibrate almost.
recalibrate,
Yeah.
and make a run. So we know that Coach Day and that coaching staff have been here before. So they know how to pull this off. They'll be interesting to me. The other team that I know you like, I like them, but I don't know that I love them, is Texas Tech. I like them. I don't know that I love them in this situation. I could be wrong. What do you, when I look at this bracket, I always look at the bottom half as the Georgia Ohio State side of the bracket. To me, seems like the tougher side
Mm-hmm.
than the upper half of the bracket. If you're looking at the way the graphic is laid out,
You looking at the bottom of the half?
yeah,
Of the graphic?
I do. I think the bottom half. I think when you go, let's say Ole Miss wins, whoever wins the Miami Texas A&M game,
To me that's a toss up.
that is
That's it.
which A&M's favored by I think 4.5 points.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
If
That's Kyle Field in the 12th man, don't you think?
See, but that's what I was saying about the Oklahoma game. For Bama to be favored at Oklahoma is saying something. A&M being favored by 4.5 at home makes a little more sense, but that feels like that's a pretty good gap. And depending upon which Miami you get, if you get the last month of the season Miami, that is going to be a brawl. That
absolutely. I think that's what's so good about this bracket is, I mean, you sit there and you can make an argument or a case for who you think is the toughest team that you would not want to match up with. Like, you could obviously make a case for Georgia based on what they've done here in the last 2 or 3, 4 weeks of the season, the way they looked, especially against Bama. And then you look at Indiana and you're like, why can't I like Indiana's chances? I mean, with not just Mendoza, but the way they played, running the football, defending the run. Can they keep their edge with all the accolades, the Heisman Trophy, and everybody? They beat Ohio State finally. They have a Big Ten championship. There's a lot there that they've been patted on the back for. Can they keep? Yeah. And I'm sure that's what Kurt Cignetti's working on, is just trying to keep that edge to them. But I mean, you can make a really strong case for them, right? Texas Tech, they've done everything that's been asked of them.
Yes.
I mean, what's not to like about them, right?
Do you love them?
I love them, but I haven't seen them play the likes of an Oregon or a Indiana, a team like that. I everything I've seen from them, because I went in kind of like what you would say. You kind of have an air raid stereotype of that Texas Tech brand.
Yes.
Which, nothing against air raid, but we've never seen an air raid offense truly win it all. Whenever it becomes they get into a game against a team that prides themselves like a Georgia or Ohio State, that they've got big men at the line of scrimmage and they can kind of disrupt the timing of an air raid offense without having to get really cute. They can just play straight up and win. And they're not like that. They to me, I was blown away with how physical. Now, they went to the portal. Remember, they spent a lot of money on
they're not shy about that.
The line of scrimmage. I would say the line of scrimmage for them is a strength of theirs, especially the defensive line. So I don't know. I mean, and then you can get to these teams that have to play the first week: Oregon, Alabama, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, with everything they've been dealing with, but yet they've looked very good when they've been out there with Charlie Weiss calling the plays. Who knows? With Pete Golding now in charge, they'd have to get through Georgia, but then Miami, Texas. I guess what I'm saying is, I feel like even though this is only our second year in a 12-team bracket, I just feel like, holy shit, like this thing's wide open.
Well, finally this season, and the way they laid out the bracket, as opposed to last season when it was the conference champions got buys, it didn't have this same feel as this bracket does. This bracket here, like this one, you really every game. Yeah. No, the JMU Oregon game.
Yeah.
I can
How big's Oregon
JMU,
favorite in that one?
I think 21-ish.
Okay.
It was 21-ish. Can JMU keep it close? I'm guessing you're not picking JMU to win it, but
No.
can they make it a game? I think that it is important for the group of 5 that they don't get their doors blown off to make this make sense, I guess is the best way to put that. But I mean, if you're Oregon, you're like, hey, listen, we got a good draw here. We got a good draw. And then let's get ready to see what's next. But I don't know. I hope for the group of 5 that JMU can make it competitive. I do.
Well, speaking of the group of 5 and the debates between Notre Dame being left out and Texas and Vanderbilt and whoever else, I love a group of 5 when there's a team that's clearly been the team in that level, whether it's the American or wherever they might be coming from.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm curious to see what the conference commissioners do to try to come up with an answer for the future, because while we all like a group of 5 story, like Ben Roethlisberger when he was at Miami of Ohio, I feel like it should take a group of 5 team like that in order to qualify to get into this tournament. I don't think we need to make sure everybody gets a trophy and make sure everybody's included. I think that's a bunch of like that's not fair. I feel like the group of 5, if they get up to a top, let's say 16 ranking, and they qualify because of what they've done on the field, boom, they're in. And it's not like they're blocked from being in. I just feel like they should have to get to a certain number in order to be able to get into the postseason. Because I think, again, you go back to the goal is to put the top 12 teams in the country, or the top, let's say if it moves to 16 teams in a country. I say we get to a point where we just rank them 1 to 16. And whether there's 2 teams in the Big Ten or 5 teams in the Big Ten or 2 in the SEC or 7 in the SEC, whatever it is, it's just 1 to 16, whether it's computers or committee or a combination of the 2. And if a group of 5 gets up into that top 16, awesome. This is going to be awesome to see how this team does. And if they don't, they're out. It's really that simple. Because I feel it's not fair to what we're trying to accomplish here by getting the best teams in when we we got to put the group of 5. Where are they ranked? Well, they're down at 19. Well, why are they in? Well, we have an agreement here that they have to have one. That doesn't seem fair or right to me.
Speaking of agreements, I don't know that I understand if Notre Dame makes it to 12, they're in.
Yeah.
Is that's next season?
Yeah.
I feel like why do we keep having agreements? To your point.
I don't know.
No, to your point. Why do we
just rank the teams?
Why do we keep having agreements? Rank the teams.
Let's rank them.
Give us
and I think expand it and do away with the conference championship games. Make sure each conference gets whole, and whatever the money that they make for their conference championship game, make sure they get whole for that.
That's where you lose me. I'm with you up till that.
You like the conference championship game?
I like them. I
like them, but if they meant something, I feel like with 12 teams, and especially you go to 16, they've lost the value of what they used to mean.
I could see that happening.
I mean, Ohio State lost to Indiana, and they went from 1 to 2.
Let's go to 16. I'm with you 100%. Rank them. If you're in, you're in. If you're out, you're out. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So then we're not having ACC arguments. Do they get a team in? Do they not get a team in? If Duke wins it, none of that matters at that point. Rank them, your top 16. Be more transparent on your rankings. Don't be pulling this nonsense where it's like
how about don't show any rankings until the last weekend?
How about don't get carried away?
I don't want to see the rank.
Don't get carried away. Let's eliminate the last Tuesday. That's the one that typically causes the problems, because things that happen in that last Tuesday, you would assume are foreshadowing what's to come on Selection Sunday.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of the last Tuesday because some teams are done at that stage. But if you get rid of that one, then you're not looking at Notre Dame's done, Miami's done. How in the world would they move? Conference championship games, do they matter? Do they not matter? You eliminate a lot of conversation if you just get rid of the last Tuesday show. If you recall, way back when you used to come to Bristol and we all be on the desk together, and
That's going back.
TCU went, they were number 3 on the last Tuesday show. And Ohio State was 5-ish, 6-ish,
Yeah,
somewhere in that area.
Can't remember. They beat Wisconsin 59-0 with Cardell Jones, who at that time was their third string quarterback.
TCU beat the brakes off of somebody like 60-7. TCU went from 3 to 6 in a span of 4 days, having won a game. And I went berserk. I lost my mind, even though the Buckeyes got in. And obviously, as the fans all like to tell us, we love teams and this, that.
What did I tell you when you first got into TV, when you left the NFL? And I told you, I want to see if you remember, because you and I had done radio forever. And when you're doing radio in Columbus, Ohio, it's different than working on a national network. And what do you remember what I told you when you got into, what did I tell you?
You told me 2 things, actually. You told me, don't be a biased person. Don't approach this like an Ohio State Buckeye fan. Don't be a fan of a team.
Don't say we.
Because we're national and you want people to respect your opinion. And the only way to do that is to not say we, not be biased toward your team. You also told me that people are going to hate you no matter what.
Yeah.
They're going to hate you no matter what. First show, I go nuts for TCU and the way they had been treated. But again, it's that last Tuesday show that creates all the problems leading into Selection Sunday. Let's get rid of last Tuesday. Keep the other Tuesdays. They're fun. Let's get rid of the last Tuesday. And then I'm with you on rank 16 teams. Give us 16 and move on. And let's play ball.
How many years have you been at ESPN now?
Holy crap.
When do you remember what year you started? What year was your last year in the NFL?
I don't know. I literally don't know. Let's go with, I'm going to guess I've been at ESPN 12-ish years.
Okay.
I'm going to guess. That's my guess.
I was thinking, because that TCU year was 14.
It's 14.
So was that one of your first years?
That was my first year on, well, that's the first year of that show, actually.
Okay. Because
So
I remember
that's my first year.
you were calling games for a while. Like
you enjoy bringing that up.
What? You were calling games.
I was calling. I remember I was
You were having a blast.
Remember you used to text me? I'd be in booth.
You'd be at West Lafayette at a noon kick.
Yeah. And it would be cold. And it would, you'd be texting me like, hey,
man, that just seemed like yesterday.
It was. But like,
then you went to the studio after enjoying that for a while. Yeah,
that has been terrific. I've had a lot of guys come and go, but I have been on that show. Me and Reese were just joking that me and Reese have been on the desk for the ranking show all 12
whole
years.
Time.
I mean, you used to come up at least on Sundays, come rolling in there with no voice left. You just called it SEC game. You're strolling in there. We had to hold you up, pour some coffee down your throat, and just
prop me up,
put you in a chair, and roll you out there to the desk. And it was a 4-hour show.
Oh my gosh! But I do think it. The reason I told you that when you first started was, like I said, it depends on what you want to do with your career. If you just want to do local, then say we and cheer for the Buckeyes. But if you want to do national, treat Ohio State like every team.
Yes.
Don't give them favoritism. Don't rip on them. Like, don't go out of your way to rip them. Just they're just another team. Yeah, that's how you have to treat them. And I don't know. I think when you do that, you're going to ruffle some feathers for diehard Ohio State fans, but I think you're also going to earn a lot of credibility with people. Like, for you to go to bat for TCU because you just felt they were wronged.
I just
Like,
felt they
if
got
I'm a
treated wrong.
fan of any team, I'm like, didn't that guy play at Ohio State? Like, wow. I mean, he's being honest. Like, I think that's the way you should do it. And I was just glad that, you know what, I thought when you first got out, I thought you would do college for a little bit. I thought you'd go to the NFL. I think you'd want to do like NFL studio. I love that you stayed in college.
Yeah, I love that I stayed in college too, and you're a big part of that. Like, that was working with you and the chances I get, and Reese, and even Matt Berry and EJ Manuel. Now it's been
How has
great.
that been? That transition from Dan Mullen to EJ Manuel and you and Matt, has that been
EJ,
different vibe?
Yeah, different vibe. It's always different when you go from coach to player. You know what I mean? Like, coaches see things different sometimes than players in locker rooms. EJ has been absolutely amazing.
Oh, that's great.
Better than I had ever expected. Great guy. Loves football. I'm trying to get him to not be a Florida State fan.
Is he openly a fan on air?
He's a Florida State fan. You didn't give him the talk that you gave me on the way in the door.
I don't get why guys go that route.
I think because
there's a lot of that.
There is a lot of that, and it seems to be more accepted now, and I don't know why. But I also think that, and you probably showed this more so than anybody. You receive a lot of pressure at home. You know what I mean? Like, when, like, the Ohio State Buckeye fans, the amount of people that, like, man, Herbie he's no longer a Buckeye. Like, you had to deal with that for years.
Oh yeah.
And then me, not as much, because I don't get I don't call games now, and I don't predict games any longer. You know what I mean? Like, you pick games, and holy crap, if you pick against the Buckeyes, you are absolutely out. You are officially no longer part of the crew. So you would get that for years. Now for me, I get, the Miami fans think I hate them. You know what I mean? Like, why do
if you
hate
do
our
it long
team?
enough, everybody thinks
Everybody is going to go through that. You hate us in this season, when you're literally like, I don't have one tie to Notre Dame or Miami. I don't care. I care about the process by which we got to where we got to. You know what I mean? We don't dislike JMU. It's an amazing story. It's a great story.
Yep.
It's just, we have teams sitting at home that deserve to be in this playoff. And we have teams, because of all these agreements that you guys signed on for some reason. And then next season, we have more agreements that people are like, why? Why do we? Remember, you're asking, who do you call about changing the calendar?
Yeah.
Call whoever makes these agreements.
Whoever we find that person, we're going to find out who that person is.
Maybe you can go through, maybe Heather Dennis can help us out to know like who you talk to about, can we eliminate the agreements?
The other thing is, I think Notre Dame's a better team, a more complete team this year than they were last year. And they went all the way to the national championship.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, that bracket we just showed, you imagine if we had Notre Dame up on that board, or Texas up on that board, with all these other teams,
with all these teams, if you could slide,
JMU and Tulane out, and you put Notre Dame and Texas in, holy cow!
Yeah, the best year by far. That'd be the best year by far if you could get that done.
Yeah, if I can get that. All right, we got caught up talking to each other here. Let's answer some questions. I know people. By the way, Joe, you're good. We're good to go. Credential Friday and Saturday, so you're good.
All right.
Yep. And so you can delete that text you sent. You don't need to do that. Let's answer some.
What is wrong with you?
Let's answer some questions. See what's on people's minds here in these last 16 minutes. What about Jeremiah Smith not winning the Biletnikoff Award? Well, I mean, if you're just going to look at these awards in the preseason, and you're going to say, this guy is the best player. I think anybody who watches these teams knows that the best receiver in the country preseason, during the season, postseason, if you're just looking at just pure ability, I think it's pretty obvious who that guy is, and that's Jeremiah Smith. But I also think to not recognize the year that Mekhi Lemon had or other receivers, I mean, he ended up having a monster year. He ended up winning the award, didn't he? Didn't he win the Blitnikoff?
Yep.
I think it's about the production on the field and the year that you enjoyed.
Yes.
It's not preseason, who's the best receiver.
It's not NFL draft.
No, NFL draft. He's like obvious.
That's the key. But I think people do that when it comes to these awards, because if you had to draft one of those guys, you're drafting Jeremiah Smith. But that's not what this is.
Yeah.
This is, what did you do in this college football season? I was surprised, but I don't mind it. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I was surprised, but Lemon had an amazing season.
And if you put the two season, or really any receivers, and you just put their season up, think about, I mean, Carnell Tate he had a lot of big plays.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, there were other guys that made plays on the Ohio State offense. And if you put Jeremiah Smith's numbers up next to him, I mean, it's the guy had a great year. So I think I have no problem personally with, honoring people who put together a great season. And that's really what, to me, the awards are about. It's not just about who's the most gifted or who's the most talented. It's about who has the best season. So, Jeremiah Smith, I'm sure that adds motivation to him for this postseason.
And he didn't go viral afterwards, like your boy, like your man down there in Nashville.
Yeah. What happened? That was the Heisman was over, and then he went out partying and said F the voters and F Indiana and stuff like that.
Yeah, so
I don't know what I saw he apologized, I think, yesterday for all that stuff.
Yeah, I think that someone got a hold of him and said, hey, that is a terrible look.
Not a great look for him, not a great look for his school, not a great look for his head coach. So
he's representing his family in that situation. Not a good look. Hopefully that the family came together and said, hey man, let's apologize. Let's try to rectify that situation. That is really not a good look.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Will Bama fire Kalen DeBoer if they lose to Oklahoma?
What?
Is that a serious question?
Kalen DeBoer, it's since being at Alabama. I mean, from day one, it has been this stuff. Is he going to get fired and go to Penn State?
What game is he playing in this weekend? Is he in a play? That's a playoff.
It doesn't matter nowadays, dude. It does not matter where you're playing, what you've done. People want to fire people. They just want someone to get fired.
But don't you think that kind of guy's voice has always been out there, but he didn't have Twitter
now we got social media
to be able to put his voice out there? Don't you think Woody Hayes dealt with that, and it's just now people are allowed to throw that shit out there now.
The problem is not just that, but because we're all looking for likes and clicks, the best way to do that is to say something negative. You know what I mean? That is the best way to do it, to get, I mean, you told me this a long time ago, that fringe fan, those ones are the loudest. And it was crazy because I didn't realize that he's when you told me those people on Twitter, the crazies are the fringe people. And so for years I had heard, because Alabama used to come at me I hated them, I hated Alabama at one point in my life.
Of course.
Until I went to Alabama and met the people in Tuscaloosa. They were amazing.
Wonderful.
They were amazing.
Yeah. You went in there thinking, well,
yeah, I went in there
and not Yeah, exactly. And
And
not a peep. Nicest people in the world.
nicest people in the world, in the
Yep.
restaurants, and everyone, they're like, welcome. And I was like, that's amazing. Everything I'd received on Twitter, you'd have thought that I had to sneak into town and sneak out of town, but they were amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's true. I think every fan base has that 5 or 10% that their own fan base is embarrassed of. And unfortunately, you hear from them the most.
Yeah, you
You
hear the
know?
most.
And you can't allow that to make you think, well, Alabama people, in your
Well,
example,
Alabama, they're idiots.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
Like, but no, he's not going to get fired.
No.
Yeah. How about this guy? This Kalen DeBoer, is he going to get fired? And then other people like, he's going to Michigan. It's like, I mean, geez.
Penn State first, then Michigan.
Yeah. How about just
What?
let's get excited about a playoff game on Friday
You're in a
night.
playoff game.
You're,
Here we go.
You're playing at Norman this week. Let's enjoy it.
Let's roll.
All right. Next question. What were your thoughts on Phillip Rivers' return? Better or worse than you expected? How old is he? 44?
74.
No, but think about 44. You with your 3 boys when you play, knee football or something around the house. I remember when my boys, when I was right around that 40 to 44, still thinking I could get around and get on the ground and rough them up. I remember my lower back one time. I took a shot. I can't remember from which one of them, and I'm trying to be the fun dad, and I was like, I can't feel my right leg right now. And this is just in the yard. And it's just playing around, right? And I'm thinking, he's getting hit by 300-pound men that are just big and athletic. God bless him. I mean, first of all, his brain. Well, I watched him play in Seattle. Can't you play the Bengals coming back? Like Seattle of all teams. And his just watching him, he's pre-snap, he's the point. I mean, he's like the head coach playing quarterback. Now his mechanics have I called it his freshman year. I called his first game. His mechanics were always so different. You know what I mean? Like, and he'll tell you his dad was a coach and he had a little hand as a little 5, 6, 7-year-old kid, but he wanted to try to throw that big ball, and it created that delivery that he has. And yet when he was throwing yesterday, I saw his first touchdown and I was like, holy cow, this guy just threw a touchdown pass against Seattle. And he was like, his energy, and he was all fired up. But I'm impressed that he can be out there in his uni and throwing the damn ball around. But
it was so funny watching, because he made a lot of us older guys really think about the things you just brought up. I was at the gym yesterday with my boys throwing, and one's running routes, one's throwing, and there are times when I want to show my guys how to run routes.
Oh yeah.
And then I take
you go
inventory.
With the towel? Do you have your towel hanging off your
Towels
leg?
hanging off the hip. Yeah. And then I take inventory of what that's going to cost me after. Not what it's going to feel like in the moment, but what it's going to cost me after. I don't want it. When I watched Phillip Rivers yesterday, I thought to myself, every time he hit the ground, I thought, oh my gosh, I don't want it. Like, that just looks, there's not a number that you could get to make me put a helmet back on and let someone tackle me. It just, oh my gosh. That looks
makes
painful.
Us have a great appreciation for him to be out there.
Yes. And a bit of are you nuts? Like, are you nuts?
You know what's neat though? He's got kids all the way from high school all the way down.
Yeah.
And I think it's neat that his kids get a chance to see him out there playing. And, instead of watching highlights, now they can actually see him. But man, just stay healthy.
Yeah, please. Please.
And the Colts, how about the Buffalo game yesterday? Did you watch the Buffalo?
Yeah, I was watching, and then I thought,
New England was killing them.
They're killing them.
Josh Allen does what Josh Allen does, brings them all the way back. And once it became a game where in the second half you're thinking, Josh Allen's going to win this game.
Yep. Then you're thinking you shifted from they have no shot.
Josh Allen's going to win
Josh
this game.
Allen is going to win this game.
Yeah. In fact, I called a play in the huddle to Chase. I said, I wonder if he goes, they're at about the 8-yard line. I go, I wonder if he goes into the huddle and just says, backyard football, scramble right on one, ready, break. Because every single time they get about to the 10, 12-yard line, it's almost the defense's worst thing they can do is flush him from the pocket.
Yep.
He
Absolutely
steps up,
right.
he steps right, and then it's just a matter of backyard football. Who can separate? Just give me a foot. Get a foot of separation from that guy trying to plaster you, and I'm going to throw a laser right there to Dawson Knox for a touchdown. And it's every single time. And with Kansas City, and by the way, Patrick Mahomes, thoughts and prayers out to him.
Seriously.
Micah Parsons. Man.
Yes.
But Kansas City not only loses Mahomes, and you think about even next year, because it's a late ACL, and we wish him nothing but the best, obviously.
He should be able to come back for next season. He's a quarterback.
What? We're December. So what is that anymore as for a quarterback? Like a 10-month? 10 months,
no.
depending on you think you can do it faster?
Back in my day, they used to say it was 10 months. Nowadays, it's fast. Well, it used to be 6 months. It used to be 6 months back in the day. And
6
now,
months?
Yeah,
I thought
6
it was
months.
a year.
Well, no. 6 months. It used to be 6
good to
months.
go. He'll be good to go next year.
He should be fine.
But with Kansas City now out, and that's been Buffalo's
It's an interesting NFL season we're dealing with, where you look at these teams. Kansas City's out of it. Dallas hanging on. Is there still a thread left for Dallas? Are they still hanging on by a thread? I mean, you look at these teams now, and it is like your division. Goodness, I mean, your division is just a mess.
Don't even say my division.
Yeah.
I've officially given up fandom.
I tell you what.
NFL.
Listen,
between
you guys, and the Browns,
you never know.
The Bengals still had it. Are they still hanging by a thread or no? In reality,
here's my question for you. Does anybody have it any worse than me in being a fan of the Reds, the Bengals, and the Blue Jackets? Can anybody match that misery right there? I thought the Blue Jackets.
I thought the Blue Jackets were about to.
Once Bob decided he needed sunshine and went to Miami and won a couple Stanley Cups.
Yeah.
That was all she wrote, kid.
It's rough. But here's the thing that you bring to the table for me, and I love you for it. There's always a glimmer in one of those seasons that you start to feel like this is, hey, while you're over there goofing around, my Bengals, my Reds.
I am guilty of doing that with the Reds.
24-zip.
The Bengals.
No. Hey.
No, just.
Then the Reds
and the Blue
Reds
Jackets.
At the end.
You're supposed to. Are you supposed to score goals? Is that part of the? You take your stick and the black circular, like the puck. You're supposed to. You're supposed to shoot it into the other team's net.
You guys score some goals. The problem is you let the other team.
We don't do that until late in the third period. We like to get a lead.
Bet the over.
No. If you're betting, you let the Blue Jackets get a 3-1 lead and then go the other way on the money line on the other team, because it's a guarantee that they're going to lose in the third.
Take the over. I tell you what.
All right. How did Peter like being home Saturday? Maddie, he loved it. He was hanging out with his boys. There he is right there. That's what we do.
What do you do when it's cold and a dog has to go potty?
Just let him out. They love the cold.
You don't have to go with him?
I take him for walks when it's 15 degrees out, like it is right now in Nashville. We love it. You would love it. Look at that face.
That's a beautiful face. It should be outside. See, I would be wanting to look at that face.
He's laying on a couch right there.
Oh, I bet he is. I want to see that face through a window. Me on the inside, that face on the outside. And then it's a beautiful face if it's outside.
Hey, have a great week.
You too.
This
buddy.
is one of the rare weeks I will see you in person
Absolutely.
in Norman, Oklahoma, and then College Station.
I'm going to tackle
Everybody
you and
in-
Peter.
Yeah, Peter will be there.
I'm
You'll
going
get
to
a chance
I'm
rough
taking
him up.
Peter down.
Yes. Everybody have a great week. College football playoffs start Friday. NFL cranking up, getting closer to the playoffs. We got a huge one Thursday night. Rams, Seahawks out in Seattle. Have a great week, Joey. I'll see you
All right,
Friday. Take care, everybody. Appreciate you.
See you soon.